Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Krista. I am a parenting coach and relationship coach, and I'm the creator of the WhyAmIYelling brand. And I help parents navigate the exciting path of raising children by addressing the fear, embracing the milestones, and encouraging a creative and positive family dynamic. Today, I'm so excited because I had the opportunity to meet Jenny back in June. I was on her podcast. And I just love what she does, and I love her energy, and I'm so excited that she's here. So today we have Jenny Stemmerman on our live broadcast. She is the creator of Your Life Rocks. It's a growing online community and podcast for working Christian moms. She likes to work with women who are totally into giving themselves their best life. And so through her coaching and her mission, she is helping busy moms get the tools that they need to have the life that they want. I'm so excited to have you here. You have 2 little boys. You have been married to your high school sweetheart for 16 years. I love that story. And so everybody, welcome Jenny Stemmerman. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Chris. I'm so excited to be on with you.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So I want you to tell us, here's what I do for these things. I have guests on here who I feel a kinship with, and I know you guys have good stories and all that kind of stuff, and I love what you're doing. I love your message, and I love your mission, and you've got a really good boot camp going on right now, so I want you to talk about that too. So tell me, what is Your Life Rocks? Why did you decide to do this? And we'll just converse from there.
Yeah, so Your Life Rocks is really it's a one-stop shop for Christian working moms. Being a Christian working mom myself, when you're traveling for work and you have these big career ambitions, it's hard to find other women who get you. And it's hard to find things that can help you grow. I mean, most, leadership books, leadership podcasts, there's a lot of really great information out there, but a lot of it is a man's voice. There's not a lot out there for a woman. And even the stuff that is out there for a woman, it's very, it can be a little bit abrasive and not really align up with my Christian values. So it's always hard to find, what's that voice that's really going to guide me? And then, you find that balance, right? When you're so career focused and then you have to come home and be a mom. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to be a mom. I can put together spreadsheets and do presentations and all that stuff, but how do I be a mom? Right. And then you think about financial goals and taking care of your health. It's a lot to balance. And so that's really why I created Your Life Rocks as a one-stop shop to really help women like me to really find all the resources and tools that they need so that they can feel awesome about their lives and that they can really feel like they're not failing. They're really building a life that rocks.
Yeah. And so when did you start this? Like, how long have you been doing it?
Yeah.
I know your motivation, but
yeah.
And how did you transition into it?
Yeah. So it was interesting. It was, probably about a year and a half ago, I kind of felt like I needed to do something because probably about 3 years ago is when I kind of hit rock bottom. I think that's how a lot of people kind of start something is when they hit rock bottom. So for me, I was very, very unbalanced. I was traveling every single week for work, coming home. My weekends, I was exhausted on the couch, not taking very good care of my kids. And I felt super guilty about that, not taking care of myself. My marriage was failing. It was just not great. And from that, I decided I was done. I needed something different in my life. Life is too short and I needed to have a better path out. So with a lot of prayer and I'm very systemized. So a lot of systems, I got myself out of it and found a place of balance. And then probably about a year ago, I was networking and talking to a lot of other women that were like me, and they were exactly where I was, and they didn't have those same tools. So I wanted to be able to share some of those things that I did to help bring my life into a better state of balance. I don't think life is ever going to be completely balanced, but we can always improve, right? Right. So that was kind of why I wanted to start it. So probably about a year ago, I started a blog. Probably about a year and a half ago, I started the blog, not knowing what is it going to be, right? I was just like, I just got to start something. So I started the blog. And then a year ago, this week is when I started the podcast, which is super exciting.
Congratulations, 1 year.
Yeah, I know. 1 year anniversary for the podcast.
That's awesome.
Super exciting. But you know what? It's just like one thing at a time. Right now, we're getting ready to really take our membership up to the next level. We're bringing on lifestyle partners. It's just one foot in front of the next. And by the grace of God, we'll see what happens next.
Right. And so what are some of the tools that you provide to women to help them have better balance?
Yeah, a lot of it's mindset is number one. So I do a lot of mindset coaching with people. We talk a lot about mindset on the podcast. We do a lot about mindset in our private Facebook group that's free for everyone. And all of my courses and membership, that all has a little bit of mindset in there too. But then, mindset can only go so far. You also have to have practical steps that you can take. So all of my podcasts are very action oriented. Like, what are the 3 things, 5 things you can do leaving the podcast to bring more balance, to help you have more focus, to help you have more productivity, whatever it is. And all of the courses are very much the same way that we provide within the community too.
That's awesome. And so you were doing this part-time, full-time. So now it's your gig.
Yeah, it's my gig full-time. So for the last year, so I left my corporate job in June, which is a whole crazy story in itself. But yeah, so for the last year, when you get like something in your heart that you're like, I just need to do this, like it just drives you, right? So I woke up at 4:30 every single morning to work on the business, getting the kids up at 6. So I had a full hour and a half. And then after they went to bed at night, another hour every weekend, like there was no days off, right? Like you just kind of go. And then in June, I made the big leap and we moved halfway across the country, and now I get to do this full time. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about the boot camp that you're doing right now, and some of the programs, because I feel like there are a lot of women out there who could totally use you. And I want them to know as much as they can know about you. And tell us about your Facebook group and all that stuff.
Awesome. So it's interesting right now, the boot camp that we have going on, it's really kind of taken off its whole life of its own. So my corporate career has always been on the corporate side of network marketing and direct sales companies. So, you think about like some of those things that you always see people promoting and selling on Facebook and everywhere else out there. I was on the corporate side. So I was putting together the training programs, the sales strategies, all of that kind of stuff for over a decade. And in that time, I was a certified coach for businesses that were in that marketplace, really helping some of the top people and some of the top companies reach massive goals that they were setting for themselves, training them how to train their team and to duplicate and doing all of those things. And it's funny how things work out, right? Like when I left my corporate career, I was like, okay, that's behind me. That's just what I did. But I found people kept reaching out and they needed those tools. So the boot camp that is going on right now, and we have another one starting, is for direct sellers and network marketers. I feel like it's not it's not really a alignment with what my brand is with Your Life Rocks, but it's kind of funny, right? Like it just happened. But at the same time, it still has those same principles, right? So it's all about having focus and balance, because sometimes we do those types of businesses for people to have more time with their family, to be able to contribute more, but then it takes over your whole life. So teaching people how to have that same balance and the same focus, productivity, action is all still there, which is really cool. So outside of the boot camp, we have our membership, which is called Life Balance, which is for Christian working moms, regardless of what you do for work. We even have some stay-at-home moms and I really love it. And then we have a leadership course that we teach that's set aside from that. And then our most popular course, it's a little mini course that's all about having the most powerful Sunday prep day ever to help you remove all the obstacles from your week ahead and really help you stay on top of things.
Oh my God, I love that one.
Yeah, it's really great.
I need that one.
It's called Weekly Success Planning, and it's one of my favorite courses that I have.
What? I love that. So now tell me how you incorporate all of this with being a mommy, because that's a hard thing, right? I mean, we're all trying to figure it out and do it. And like even today, I have my youngest one is going to be the turkey in the Thanksgiving class play that they're doing for Thanksgiving next week. And I found out yesterday that his turkey costume is due tomorrow.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, what are we doing? So I'm rummaging through, and it's all DIY, right? It's like, I didn't call the costume place to get a turkey costume delivered. So I'm like, brown pants, brown t-shirt. I go to Michael's and I have to go buy feathers. And so, my whole day has just been, I was up at 4:00 this morning, basically thinking about the costume. And then I started writing because I was like, I have to get this stuff done. And I started organizing our call for today, and everything got shifted by 3 hours because now I have to run to Michael's and go get this stuff. So I know how hard it is. You know how hard it is. And so tell me how you balance motherhood.
Yeah.
And everything else.
It's crazy. It really is crazy. Right now. So just to give you an example, I mean, and this is so the truth of it, right? Like we talk about life balance and things have to, things always look pretty. It's not pretty. I mean,
No.
The room next door is my 7-year-old who's homesick today from school. He was at 3 a.m. He has cystic fibrosis, so he's having some lung issues. So I was up with him for probably 3 hours last night, very little sleep. And it was kind of a scary night, but you know what? Like, that's just life. And then of course, my older son, he's 11, and his teacher called yesterday and was like, we need to have a conference on his behavior. And it's just like, oh my God.
What is going on?
But one of my favorite quotes is you have to be careful about what you're putting on your children. Are you putting on your worst fears and worries, or are you putting on the truth of God on their life? And so I always have to just manage my own thought process and my own mindset around them. I'm very fortunate that for years, my husband's been a stay-at-home dad while I was the career woman and off doing things. So super fortunate. But at the same time, I missed out on a lot of stuff. Yeah. And 2 young boys, they need a mom's influence. And they didn't have a strong mom influence for a lot of those years. So we're trying to make up a lot of ground now. Try to repair some of that stuff. But it is hard. And I really find like you have to really just... It sounds kind of crazy, but you have to compartmentalize, right? Like, okay, I'm in work mode, and then I'm in mom mode, and then I'm in wife mode. And you just have to, it's like always a battle in the mind, I feel like.
I agree with you. I feel the same way. It's like, okay, I have to turn everything off between these hours so I can give them the time that they need in order for me to feel okay about going back to it, like you said, after they're in bed or before they wake up or whatever it is that they're doing or we're doing to try and keep it all organized and compartmentalized and flowing properly. And they do suck the life out of you. Like we're not lying about this.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
This morning, my husband was like, it's my oldest, who's going to be 11 next week. He and I share a birthday. And so I was saying, okay, so Friday is Wyatt's birthday. We're going to do a little pizza party for him. We're going to do this. And my husband's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, you know what I want? I want to lock myself in a room for a week. I have to finish this book. I have all this stuff I want to do. Like, I don't want to see anybody. So maybe take a few days off and just leave me alone. Like, just take care of it.
So my husband and I, we were watching this TV show, and this girl was talking about, I think it was Bad Moms actually. And she was talking about how like, I wish I could just go in the hospital for like a week. And my husband's like, that is so sad. I'm like, you have no idea.
That is so true.
To have someone like bring you food and like, you don't have to look pretty like that for a whole week. Like, that'd be amazing. Right.
And you can sleep. And you can get all your stuff done. Just leave me alone.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get it. And I'm right there with you. Yes, it's all crazy talk. So what would be the one piece of advice you would give to, working moms that you work with or just out there in order to, like, what's the most important part of balance, do you think?
Oh gosh, there's so many different parts of balance. I really think having a strong connection with truth. I think sometimes we play so many stories in our head and we can go round and round and round and round about whether it's things we feel like we're not doing well enough or comparing ourselves to other people or just so many different things. And I think that if you can really stay tight to the truth. So for me, it's Christian values. When I stay really rooted in God and I have my prayer time in the morning, everything else just feels much easier. And to really, but regardless of what it is for you, having that truth, knowing that, like for example, the costume in the Thanksgiving thing, like it's important today, but in the big picture of things,
right.
Like, whatever it is, whatever it is. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to look horrible. And the other moms are going to like compare, like that'll last 30 seconds. Big deal. But I think sometimes we make things that are so big that don't need to be so big. And we make these lies and these stories of things that aren't even true for ourselves. And that takes us so far out of balance. So the more you can stay tight to the truth of what really matters and who we really are, like everything else will kind of take care of itself.
I'm writing this down because I love it.
It takes practice because you have to fight that voice in your head, right? Because it's a habit. It's a habit that we have, just like anything else. Like if you're trying to quit smoking or something, it's a habit. That negative thought, it's a habit. It's just as hard as, quitting sugar.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I just finished reading a book by Gabby Bernstein called The Universe Has Got Your Back.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks a lot about, finding your truth and coming from a place of love. And last week I had somebody on here, her name was Suzanne Taylor, and she talks about heart-centeredness and coming and, communicating, from your place of your truth, and your heart-centered, and everything that you give out should be coming from that place. And so I love it. I love that we're keeping up with that theme and the whole, gratitude thing. Like, I'm not going to do a show that next week because it's Thanksgiving, and, I'm going to be with my family. We're probably going to go to the parade and like do our New York stuff. And I've been talking a lot this week about gratitude in my challenge. The Why Am I Yelling challenge was all about gratitude. And I feel like, we're very quick to be grateful for the stuff, right? The easy stuff, like the family and the friends and this stuff. And I said to my challengers, I was like, here's what I want you to be grateful for. I want you to be grateful for you. Be grateful for yourself, and really take some time to think about why you're such a good, why are you so great? Because there are a lot of reasons why we all are. Mm-hmm. And I think we tend to put ourselves last as mothers, right? We are last on the totem pole every single time. And like you said, mindset is so important. And I coach on it all the time in my programs too, that it's, we forget to spend time on ourselves, and we forget that there's good stuff. We do good stuff every single day, and we don't focus on that, and we don't bring it to the forefront. And I think that, focusing on that and making sure that we're doing those things is super important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I find that so many women, especially Christian women, like they feel like I'm supposed to be humble, so I can't think of myself in that way. Or, in order to be humble, I have to make myself less than. But you also have to realize, like, you were created in the image of God. Like, he made you exactly how you were for a reason. Yeah. And if you're not grateful for that, it's not about you. It's about how you were created. And it's about the gifts that you were given so that you can then go and bless other people. And if you don't acknowledge that, you're not fully using your gifts, because you have to acknowledge what they are in order for you to effectively use them. Yes. And I think that that's sometimes the things that we miss, is that we can focus so much on the things we're not doing well enough in, that we forget about the great gifts that we're given and how we can give those. And all of my courses, it's all about, even like the boot camp that we're doing right now, the leadership course that I do, it's all about figuring out what it is that you're strong in and amplifying it, making it bigger. We always focus on, I need to do this better. I'm not so great at that. But sometimes I think we just need to put more attention on the things we're awesome at.
I love that. Because I think that we do sometimes forget to do it, or a lot of times forget to do it, or don't even realizing it. I know that you do this too. Like when you go through your coaching classes and you're with a new client, and all of a sudden they have like a shift or a breakthrough moment, and they're like, wait a minute, what just happened? And it's the best feeling for me, because it's like, I knew it was in there. Like it's in there, it's in there. And it really just changes. You're watching them change in front of your eyes. It's amazing. It's like watching your kids grow almost. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. And I love it so much. And that's why I think that, what we do is so great and so important and powerful, really.
I totally agree.
What else do I need to ask you? What else do I need to know? So tell me about your journey through motherhood. I know that your little one has cystic fibrosis. Mm-hmm. I know that is a challenge and something that you guys work through every single day. So how did that impact your career and your decisions to get to this point?
Yeah, it's funny, because you would think having a child with a life-limiting disease that's progressively going to get worse over time, you would think that would make you say, whoa, I need to be like a stay-at-home mom and just fully be with them. But we decided very, very early on that right now the median age life expectancy for someone with cystic fibrosis is 37. But we've always said, you know what, that means that 50% of people live beyond 37. So that's what we focus on, right? Like we focus on the people who are 60, that are 70, that are 50, that are running, marathons at 50 with cystic fibrosis. That's the circle we try to be in with the disease. So we decided early on, we never wanted him to say, I can't do this because I have this disease.
Right.
because we didn't want it to define him. And so when I was at a place in my career, I think he was maybe like a year and a half at the time. He was very young. And I got an opportunity to be promoted. And that promotion meant, we lived in Oregon, but it meant traveling to New York City every single week for the next 6 months. And then after that, who knows where I would be.
Right.
So that's a big thing. And so the only reason why I wouldn't have taken it was because of his disease and taking care of him and the kids. And my husband looked at me and he's like, you know, if we want him to not have any excuses about it, we can't have any excuses about it. So you need to take the job. And so I took the job in spite of it. And, you know, that's part of the journey, right? That's kind of what got my life so out of balance, that's what helped me create this business and like everything else. So it's all part of the journey. But, you know, that was a big decision for us. And luckily he's been really, really healthy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, super healthy, super duper healthy. He's not healthy right this minute, but he's been pretty healthy.
Not last night, but so far.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. But, you know, I think that's the thing with when you're trying to balance a career and being a mom is sometimes we can get so focused in on like what's right in front of us. And I do think that those details and those small moments matter. But I also think we have to remember like the example that we're setting for our kids, that work ethic is huge, that we have to set big goals and we have to work for them. And if there's failures, we have to just push through. Because I think that that's really what's lacking so much in our society these days. And our children are that next generation. And the more we can show them what hard work looks like, the better that they will be.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. I just, it's a lot to instill that into your children and make them see how hard it is. Like, you know, it's been for me too, like it's been a year for me doing this, and having them watch me go through my ups and my downs and like the peaks and the valleys and the hard and the tears and the, you know, the smiles. And it's been kind of crazy for everybody. Oh, is he right there?
Yeah, he is. He just opened the door. Even though I told him, like, stay out.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with every single word that you're saying. And I think it's amazing that you're doing this for other women. And I think that, you know, I love that we can all learn from each other. And I love that you love to promote that. And I love that you're strong in your faith and you put it in the forefront and you make it part of your practice. Because I think that's important too. I think that if you have a belief and you talk about it and you encourage it, then it can only spread and do good for other people.
Well, and I think too, I mean, the reason why faith is such a big part of my business is I feel like working women need to have permission to have faith, because I feel like it's almost like, you know, if you're going to be a working mom, then how are you going to be involved in the church? I mean, that was always my big thing, is I wanted to be more involved in the church, but women's Bible study was at 9:30 in the morning on Thursdays or Tuesdays. Like, and I was like, well, I'm a working mom. So there was always there's this divide, and there was never like permission. Because even when you're in the corporate world, right, it's drinks at the bar after the meeting. And like, so it's like very divided. And I felt like so many other women like myself felt divided. And so I feel like in order to feel whole, we have to bring it forward and have to really put the truth forward and just address it head on versus having it just be something out there that is unspoken. Yeah.
I love that message. I do. I love it. I love the message. So we're going to wrap this up. So I want you to tell me, it's Thanksgiving season. So tell me, it's been a big year for you guys. You moved, you had a lot of changes going on. What are you most grateful for this year in your life, Jenny Stemmerman?
I'm most grateful for so much. To pick one thing is so hard. I think the thing I'm most grateful for is, if I could pick one word, is just courage. I think, you know, having courage that God has given me to really step out and to make some hard decisions we sold our house, we sold everything we owned practically.
Crazy.
Quit a big job, and just my husband starting a business, which is crazy. And
that's awesome.
Like, it's all crazy. Like, when you think about it, it's all crazy, but it took courage to do all of that. And I'm just thankful that God gave us a spirit of courage to be able to step out and do those things.
I love that. So anybody who's watching right now, you can find Jenny on Facebook at Your Life Rocks. She's got a private Facebook group. She does. She has a website, yourliferocks.com, and you can get any kind of information from her there at the website, on the coaching programs, on all the stuff that she does. Join her Facebook group. It's a really fun one. I'm in there all the time. And I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was so good catching up with you.
So fun. I'm going to, oh, look, and there is Jackie. Thank you for putting that.
Oh, thanks, Jackie.
I'm going to take us off air, but we'll still be on.
Okay,
so
awesome.
Hang on just a sec. Thanks, everybody, for watching.